Go ahead and continue with our post-race press conference. We're now joined by Kyle Busch, driver of the number 18 M&M's Crispy Toyota, who finished 4th in tonight's AAA Texas 500. This is his 9th top 5 finish at TMS. You're now 2nd in the chase standings with an 11-point advantage. Talk about your run and just as you hit momentum heading towards Phoenix.
Yeah, it was a really good day for us. Obviously, just being able to run our own race and to perform the way we did, and I felt like it was pretty good. I wish we had a little bit faster car on the short run for sure. I think that was kind of where we lost most of our time here today, but once things kind of got single filed out a little bit, spread out, our car was kind of better on the long run. So, at least we did have some speed in our car on one side of the run where we could start to make up some ground and even maintain our position on the racetrack. But can't say enough about Adam Stevens, everyone on this M&M's Crispy team. They did a great job. Our Toyota Camry was awesome. TRD did a great job with the engines. So just look forward to Phoenix next week and look forward to just maintaining our position. If we can go out there and win, sure, we'll take it. We'd love to win. But, right now it's not a must-win situation for us like it is some other guys. So we might see some fireworks. Who knows? But all in all, couldn't be more pleased with the position we got right now.
Let's go and open up for questions. We'll start back there with Stan. I'll go Nate and Bob.
Stan Creekmore with RPM.com all the way in the rear. From a mental standpoint, did you kind of cheer when Jimmy Johnson was able to take the lead, and that definitely hurt Keselowski and his run for the chase? Yeah,
there's no denying that. Certainly, us as the 18 car cheering for the 48 helps our situation. It makes those guys that are in dire need of a win to have to work hard for it, and you can't. Sometimes you can't put yourself in that situation, and it may or may not have been his own doing last week at Martinsville, but it's unfortunate for Brad. I've been in that situation before, maybe never to that magnitude of losing a race quite like that, but I've lost plenty of them that way for sure, and even probably a couple of them to Superman. So it's frustrating, I'm sure, for Brad, but. For what we got going to focus on the 18 car, it was a good thing for us today.
Well, Nate and then Bob.
Nate Ryan, NBC Sports. Kyle, kind of following up on that with the point situation entering Phoenix with Jimmy winning, that obviously opens up another position at Homestead. Harvick has been so dominant at Phoenix recently. How do you and other guys who are in that points window look at this? Is it a winnable race still, given his dominance, and do you have to look at it differently, given that, knowing that you can advance to Homestead on points?
I do not think it's a winnable race until Kevin Harvick gets beat. He's shown that he's certainly got the stranglehold on the Phoenix racetrack. So ever since the repave, the Joe Gibbs racing cars, we haven't quite been the same as what we were before it, and it's kind of hurt us a little bit. But for Harvick and what he figured out, whatever he's figured out there with with RCR, he won a couple times, and then of course with Stewart-Haas now, he's kind of got the stranglehold on that track. So we look at the point situation and guarantee Harvick winning that race, and so then you got to figure out who you're racing after that to know what you got to do in order to point your way through. So if we can win though, and go out there and win the race, then we will. But as far as we're concerned, it's that's how we look at it. Yeah, it was a bit of a struggle last fall there. I think Kenseth ran 20th, and that's what eliminated him out of the chase, and Denny ran 10th or whatever. He had a good enough position that he was able to finish good and transfer through to Homestead. And, so Kenseth tested for us out there a few weeks back and did a really good job. So I'm looking forward to what he's got worked out for us and getting out there and making some laps and hopefully having a good race car.
Bob Hockers, ESPN. How bad was your tire when you kind of came in, looked like you came in a few laps early before that green flag cycle came in? And I have another question.
I'm not exactly sure how bad it was. Just from it rolling across the front of my car, looking at it, it looked like it had about 8 spirals, across the tire. So the inside half of the tire looked like it was starting to spiral out. So it wasn't good.
And I know it's out of your control, but any concerns about any points from the splitter issue this morning?
No, I don't think so. We've seen splitter issues changed before. The Penske cars had theirs changed once. I think a Hendrick car or something like that earlier this year. So I don't foresee there being any penalties from from NASCAR on that, but anything's possible. I could be wrong. I have no idea what the infraction was or what they were upset about, but we changed it and apparently met their expectations after we changed it, and were able to go out there and race today.
Stu Myrick, Austin Radio Network and 104.9 The Horn. Looking at your position in the chase, you're in second place, you're in pretty comfortable position. How much will that go into your strategy next week in Phoenix?
It'll go into our strategy a little bit. If we're running 5th to 10th and that's what we need to do, then that's what we need to do. But if we're running 15th and there's a guy behind us that if he passes us, he's going to knock himself in and us out. Well, you're going to have a heck of a lot harder race on your hands. So. We just don't need to run. We just don't need to run like that. We just need to go out there and perform and do what we've done this round, and that's to finish top 5 each race. And if we can top 5 it again next week, that's obviously just going to help our situation and roll us right on the homestead. But in a perfect world, we'll sit on the pole and win the race and take a win on into homestead and with some good momentum and look like a real contender.
Jay Pennell with Fox Sports. Just talk about Eric Jones's day-to-day and the whole weekend. Did you kind of coach him through anything? I mean, you've done a lot of triples. It's his first one at 19, and he ran well all day, finished 12th. So just talk about his day.
Yeah, I never really got a chance to talk to him a whole lot about the triple. I felt like he obviously's got a good head on his shoulders and knew what he needed, or felt like he knew what he needed. He really didn't ask a whole lot of questions, but. He hasn't been racing for a whole long time, but yet he's, pretty mature behind the wheel for sure. So he did a really good job this weekend, and winning the Truck Series race, that was really good for us. KBM, his chances for a championship, and then of course yesterday he ran top 5 and had a solid effort there in the Xfinity race. And I never saw him today. I saw him a couple times restarting right next to me, but after that I never saw him. So he was behind us a little bit, but finishing 12th, that's pretty good.
Go over here, Jerry.
Jerry Fraley, Dallas Morning News. Kyle, this year you've been real good in the third race of each of the previous 2 rounds. You did what you had to do to advance. Does that add anything to your mindset going into Phoenix, knowing that you've been able to answer the bell, so to speak?
Yeah, maybe it does, but I think the Phoenix situation is going to be entirely different than Dover. The racetrack's entirely different. Talladega, the racetrack's entirely different. So we just go out there, like I said before, we just got to do what we know how to do, and that's to run top 5. So if we unload with a good piece and have a solid day and end up there, then that's all we need to do. We'll take it.
So Daniel, then we'll go Lisa, and then Joey.
Daniel McFadden, NBC Sports. Kyle, we're 2 races away from the end of Jeff Gordon's career. Do you remember the first time you raced against him, and what's your favorite memory from your career of racing against him?
First time I raced against him was my rookie year, Daytona 500, obviously. So I think if I remember right, I started right behind him, in the Daytona 500. But I think he won that one. That was one that he won. But he's been a huge icon to this sport, and obviously he's done a lot of good things for this sport and has brought it to the notoriety that it is today. So without him, we certainly would be in a different position. But it's disappointing to see him go. It's almost heartbreaking, I guess, for some, and others. There's a bright light on the other side of the door. With Chase Elliott. So we'll see how Homestead goes for him, and if he can pull off a championship and really go out with a Cinderella story. It's a long story. I do. I've got a few. It's a long story. I don't have all day. Let's go. I got to go home.
Okay, then real quick, something positive to think about. My name's Janine Cloud, and I'm with Skirts and Scuffs. Considering how you started the season, would you express a little bit how it feels to be sitting where you are right now, facing the end of the season?
Yeah, a lot of adversity for myself in the beginning of the year, my family, my wife, and especially. But things have certainly turned on for the better, and we've been doing some really good things. Midsummer, being able to win 3 races in a row, 4 out of 5 races, that turned our season around right there, and we were able to perform and get ourselves chase eligible. And to NASCAR's rules, we did everything we needed to do, and we're in the position we're in because of that. So because of this different chase format, and we barely made it in. We're kind of the last guy in, and then we were the last guy through the first round. We were the last guy through the second round. And it doesn't matter if we're the last guy through the third round. As long as you're a guy through, you're fine, you know, and you've got that opportunity to go race Homestead and race for a championship. So, you know, I'm thankful for everything that has happened, although some of it was pretty bad. You know, it certainly has put us in a good spot right now, and I couldn't be more pleased with Joe Gibbs Racing, my team, everyone, Joe, all my supporters there at the company, and, of course, Adam Stevens as well, too. I mean, the year that he had to start off with no driver, you know, I'm sure was hard on him, but he's really pulled through, kept the team together, and everybody's really been pulling in the right direction in order to make sure that, you know, we've had a strong fight this year, and we'll continue to do so next weekend in Homestead.
So one final question in the back.
Joey Barnes, TributeRacing.com. Just to follow up with that, how gratifying is it for you, knowing what you've overcome this season, to be one race away from the championship 4?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly a dream come true. I mean, I never would have expected that we'd be in this position, let alone that when that first accident happened, you know, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, man, I'm done. I mean, literally the thing that flashed through my mind was, man, I'm going to have to go lay decals again. You know, that's what I did before I raced. I was a decal guy, you know, but fortunately things worked out. I had a great medical staff and therapist and wife who just kept digging on me and making sure that I did all that I needed to do to get going. So I've said it before, I'll say it again, you know, the script's written. I think there's 2 scripts written. It's just which one's going to come true. You know, Jeff Gordon certainly has one, and I feel like we have one as well too with this 18 car. And you know, hopefully it's our Cinderella story that can go end the season with on the 18.
Kyle, thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you.